I curse the royal family that every child born from the royal bloodline will die. On their 18th birthday, the same way you stole my life.
Day Adana turned 18, the wind carried a strange silence through the village, as if the earth already knew her life would not be ordinary. In the quiet farming village of Umuade, where red dust clung to bare feet and palm trees whispered secrets at dusk, Adana was known as the girl whose beauty could soften even the hardest heart. But beauty did not fill empty stomachs. Her father's back was bent from years of battling stubborn soil, and her mother's hands were rough from pounding yam and fetching water before sunrise. Poverty sat comfortably in their huts like an unwanted guest that refused to leave. While other girls her age dreamed of suitors and wedding beads, Adana dreamed of relief for her parents. On the morning after her birthday, she watched her mother divide the last measure of gari into 3 uneven portions and pretend she was not hungry. That was the moment Adana made her decision. When news spread that the royal palace in the neighboring kingdom needed maids, Adana did not hesitate. She walked miles under the burning sun, her wapa simple but clean, her head covered in modesty. The palace rose before her like a golden mountain, magnificent, intimidating, powerful. Against all odds, she was chosen. Her parents wept when she returned with wages in her hands and hope in her smile. None of them knew that behind the palace walls, destiny was sharpening its knife. Some men are born into power. Others are consumed by it. Prince Obiora was both. The palace corridors glittered with gold and authority, and Prince Obiora walked them like a lion who owned the jungle. He was admired for his striking looks and feared for his temper. Servants bowed before him, nobles flattered him, no one denied him. Then, one afternoon, by the royal fountain, he saw Adana kneeling gracefully as she washed silk garments. The sunlight caught her face, and in that instant, desire replaced reason in his heart. He approached her with promises, fine clothes, a better life for her parents, protection, privilege. To him, it was generosity. To her, it was danger disguised as favor. Adana bowed respectfully and refused him with calm dignity. She explained that she wished to keep her honor and serve faithfully without crossing the boundaries between their worlds. The words were gentle, but they struck the prince like a slap. No one had ever rejected him. His pride cracked and something dark slipped through the fracture. What began as wounded ego soon turned into revenge, and when powerful men choose revenge, innocent people bleed. It only takes one lie from the mouth of a prince to destroy a powerless girl. One night, the king's sacred staff vanished. The staff was no ordinary symbol. It represented divine authority and protection over the kingdom. Panic swept through the palace like wildfire. Before sunrise, Prince Obiora accused Adana of theft. His voice thundered in the royal court as he claimed he had seen her lurking near the sacred chamber. The accusation spread faster than truth ever could. Adana was dragged before the king, trembling but defiant. She swore her innocence. She begged them to search properly. But fear of royal anger silenced fairness. Without full investigation, judgment was declared. The punishment for touching the sacred staff was death. Adana was taken deep into the forest where executions were carried out beyond palace eyes. Villagers gathered, some confused, some convinced, all afraid. The first stone struck her shoulder. The second hit her head. Blood mixed with dust. As pain consumed her, she lifted her voice with the strength of a broken but unbowed spirit. She cursed the royal family, declaring that every child born from their bloodline would die on their 18th birthday, the same age they stole her life. Thunder cracked across the sky. The villagers laughed nervously. but the forest did not laugh.
They thought her words were the cries of a dying girl. They were wrong. Years passed, and the first royal child collapsed at midnight on his 18th birthday. No illness, no wound, just death. Then it happened again and again. Fear wrapped itself around the palace like chains. Prince Obiora lived long enough to watch his own children die one after another before he too met a mysterious end before 19. The sacred staff was eventually discovered hidden among his personal belongings, exposing the truth too late. Adana had been innocent. But innocence does not return the dead. Decades later, King Chinedu sat on the throne, unaware of the full depth of his family's sin. Now, his only son, Prince Jide, was 3 months away from turning 18. Desperation drove the king to summon seers and spiritualists from distant lands, but none could break the curse. Until one old man arrived, Baba Nana, ancient and feared for his wisdom. He revealed the forgotten truth and declared that only a heart pure enough to forgive what was never confessed could lift the curse. The kingdom held its breath as time continued to move. Midnight was approaching, and history was about to repeat itself. In a desperate attempt to secure the throne, King Chinedu sought a bride for Prince Jide. Maidens from wealthy homes arrived, dressed in splendor, but none carried what the kingdom truly needed. Then came Amara, a humble village teacher with courage greater than gold. She had uncovered the true story of Adana and demanded public repentance instead of secret fear. It was not marriage that would save the prince, she insisted. It was truth. On the night before Prince Jide turned 18, the king gathered the entire kingdom in the forest where Adana had been stoned. Before everyone, he confessed the crime of his ancestors. He cleared Adana's name and built a monument in her honor. Prince Jide knelt in humility and begged forgiveness for his sin he did not commit but inherited. As midnight struck, thunder roared and the wind screamed through the trees. A radiant figure appeared, Adana's spirit, no longer wounded but glowing with dignity. She saw their repentance. She saw their sincerity. Slowly, the anger that bound her soul dissolved. The curse shattered like broken glass. Midnight passed. Prince Jide lived. Joy erupted. Tears flowed. The kingdom learned that power without justice destroys, but repentance restores. And from that day forward, the story of the maid was told not as a tragedy alone, but as a warning and a promise that truth may be delayed, but it can never be buried forever.